Greetings, everyone. In this video, we'll be talking about the romantic horror movie Inhuman Kiss. Spoilers are coming, so be prepared. Four kids venture into the forest, far from the city, in search of an abandoned home. They started playing hide-and-seek as darkness fell, and the girl called Sai instructed her companion Noi to accompany her into the house. They decide to divide up into various rooms in order to avoid being discovered by the seeker, and the girl discovers a weird box on the floor with the lid open. She carefully approaches the container and peers inside, but all she finds are a spider, some webs, and some dust. The girl lets her guard down and believes she is safe, but she is blind to the bodiless head coming up behind her and seizing her by the tentacles. Several years later, Sai has developed into a stunning woman, and before she leaves for the day, she applies lipstick to her lips. The girl runs into her old buddy Jerd, who is also grown up, and purposefully exposes his muscular body before pulling the shirt back on. He makes every effort to get Sai's attention, therefore he obviously has feelings for her. The man goes with the girl to the neighborhood hospital where she works as a nurse, hoping that he won't be put in the buddy zone. However, they discover that the doctor and all of her co-workers have vanished as a result of the continuing war. A visiting family interrupts the two when they bring their youngster to be cared for after the boy suffered a minor knee injury. The mother informs them that the neighbors reported seeing a Kraje, a demon with a flying head, eating their animals at night. Sai finds it difficult to pay attention to their chats because the girl appears to be preoccupied with the boy's wounds as she advises them to take precautions by securing the windows and doors before they go to bed. The girl follows the hospital employees' advice and locks the windows at night before going to bed in order to safeguard herself from the Kraje. As she closes her eyes and drifts off to sleep, she encounters enigmatic visions of the deserted home and the box inside. The girl has a vivid dream and abruptly wakes up feeling unrested, only to find that her room is a mess and that the window has been unlocked in some way. She starts to have an odd chest pain, which reveals a crimson scar hidden beneath her clothes. Even more disturbing is the fact that her linens are covered in blood, which is most likely not her own. Sai informs Jerd, who was with her inside the woodland where she had the vision of the abandoned house, that she is very worried about what is happening to her. They travel the path into the trees in her dreams, but night is drawing near. As they proceed, the young man is concerned about their safety. Suddenly, as they hear footsteps approaching from a distance, they immediately hide. Nevertheless, it turns out to be Noi, a childhood buddy who left their village a long time ago. They sprint over to welcome their friend. But Jerd notices that his crush embraces the other man right away, leaving him feeling deeply uncomfortable as he detects the beginning of a love triangle. A group of men with firearms who are following closely behind and whose leader doesn't appear to be a humanitarian interrupts their reunion. The group enters the community and displays their cages filled with human skulls, declaring themselves to be Kraje hunters from the nearby town. According to Tad, their leader, Kraje are extremely deadly because they only appear at night and eat the villagers' cattle before turning on them as well. The monsters can also grow very quickly since other women can become infected by their saliva and become Krasus, much like the monster. The village elder, who also happens to be Sai's father, has a difficult time accepting this. The hunters, however, are merely asking the old man to let them stay until they are able to defeat this evil for the benefit of the populace. While the man in front of them is highly armed, the village chief accepts this for the sake of the residents' safety. Sai wakes up the following morning in shock following additional visions and vomits blood onto the ground. She notices that the window is open once more, just like the previous evening, and that this time there is considerably more blood on her bed. When Sai looks under her shirt, she can see that the red scarves have multiplied, proving that she is in reality a Kraje. Even worse, she learns that Jerd has joined the hunting party along with numerous other villagers. Noi tries to persuade Jerd to leave the group since the hunters are violent and dangerous, but Jerd refuses, saying that this is the only way he can protect Sai and the people he loves about. By night, the hunters started combing the area around the village in search of the demon, and Sai is now starting to experience the effects of change once more. The blood began to pool around her neck, turning her veins scarlet. Finally, the girl's head separates from her body, transforming her into a dreadful monster. A sleeping next-door neighbor awakens in the middle of the night to discover that her child is gone from the carriage, which makes her sob in misery. A bright monster is seen flying through the sky as the people rush back to the hamlet as the husband hurriedly runs to the demon hunters for assistance. Dad fires a number of shots before starting to shoot at the flying head, aiming to kill the Kraje while utterly neglecting the baby's life. Luckily, they can find the woman's infant on the floor and the demon seems to have left the area. When Noi notices the Kraje flying across the sky, He starts after the creature and ultimately finds Sai's home. Concerned for the girl's safety, Noi scales the building and makes her way to the window. But, as the girl reattaches herself, she discovers that the head actually belongs to Sai. When Sai regains consciousness, she discovers that the guy she loves witnessed her metamorphosis, which prompts Noi to drop off the ladder. The girl sobs in misery as she fears that if her love finds out about her demonic secret, she might never be accepted. The monk in the village, who seems to be quite knowledgeable about the devil's genesis, hasn't been visited by anyone in the meantime to seek refuge and advice. These creatures apparently come in both genders, with the male demons being referred to as Krahangs. The earliest monsters were once regular people, but after experimenting with black magic, they transformed him into dreadful creatures of the night. The monk advises the young man to follow his heart and make the right decisions, since he knows that this Krejay must be someone who is very precious to him. Sai soon starts to morph once more as she cries out on the floor. But after hearing what the monk said, Noi decides to help his friend and delivers her a large number of chickens so that she can eat without being killed. The following day, Sai returns to Noi and clings to him as she sobs in gratitude for saving her from harm and for accepting her despite knowing who she is. As their friendship deepens, they both start to fall in love. No one has seen the Krejay in over a month, but the man still feeds the girl at night, shielding her from the hunters. The monk shared important knowledge with Noi as well, claiming that there is a plant that can momentarily stop a Krejay from changing, despite the fact that he has never personally witnessed it. Sai one day drinks a cup of tea and sets it down while caring for a girl in the hospital. Jerd calls the woman while she is at work and advises her to use utmost caution because a full-scale search for the Krejay will take place that night. They are unaware that the patient is looking at the cup of tea on the table and intends to sip it. The illness spreads swiftly because the girl starts to change in front of her parents on the same day. When the hunters arrive, they find the headless body on the ground, but the demon has hid behind the table. Ted tells his men to shoot the thing without mercy after they had unsuccessfully attempted to remove the Krejay by hand. As a result, they fire many rounds at the table, killing the girl. As the hunter tears out the creature's heart and smiles maniacally, the family cries in pain as they see their only daughter die in front of them. Sai's friends were quite upset when the demon hunter started to believe that she was the original Krejay because she was the only nurse working at the hospital that day. Furthermore, Sai is aware that she might soon be killed as well and feels terrible about the girl's passing. Noi comforts her and explains that they might yet be able to solve the problem since he discovered plants close to the abandoned house that might momentarily halt her change. They arrive at the spot inside the forest in a hurry and find the airy building that is bringing up bad recollections of the past. They enter the backyard and notice a lot of glowing plants on the ground, so they decide to explore more. Sai hesitates before deciding to consume one of the fruits, which immediately makes her symptoms better. When Sai grinned at him, Noi quickly gathers as many plants as he can. After eventually coming up with a solution to her dire predicament, the girl learns how much the man cares for her, and the two have a passionate kiss. But their joy is cut short by the demon hunters, who are traveling with them and their buddy Jerd. When he sees his crush kissing someone else, he lunges at Noi and starts punching him violently, while Sai flees from her assailants and heads towards the abandoned house. When she enters the room in a hurry, she finds the big box there once more, but this time it is glowing red, and appears to be luring her in. Sai starts to recall the events of that night, which happened a long time ago. In order to transfer the woman's memories into the girl, the Krejay approached her from behind and kissed her on the mouth. Sai succumbs to the previous Krejay's influence and starts to murder her pursuers one by one. Tad recognizes this and starts shooting at the demon. However, Jerd tries to stop him, giving Sai a chance to flee. The hunter becomes enraged and knocks the young man off the building. After some time, Sai was able to reclaim her body, and Noi used the chance to accompany the girl as she sneaked back into the hamlet. Although the village chief is informed of the horrific incident that occurred last night, Sai returns home right away and hides the medicine. It turns out that the Krejay murdered all of the demon hunters, and Jerd was returned to the village by the sole demon hunter who managed to escape the attack, the group's leader. When the hunter describes the terrifying meeting with the demon to the people, he accuses the village chief's daughter of carrying out the murderous rampage. When the father furiously tries to stop everyone, he succeeds in persuading the populace to pursue Sai in a witch hunt. Fortunately, Sai may continue to be human by consuming the herbs and presenting herself to the public as an ordinary girl. She uses this as an opportunity to accuse the hunter of trying to assault her inside the forest, but Tad rejects her claim and instructs Jerd to reveal the truth about what actually transpired. The young man struggles with what to say and ultimately decides to lie for the woman he loves by endorsing her account. The village chief is instantly taken hostage by the hunter, who also warns the populace to stay away. After that, he pulls the trigger to give himself a chance to get away. The village elder orders everyone to return home after witnessing the man flee, and Sai stares at her friend with guilt over the lies she told. Jerd returns home exhausted both mentally and physically when he unexpectedly notices the hunter standing behind him. As he approaches, the man begins to bite him with his horrific fangs. Sai is able to halt her change in the meantime by ingesting the medication, but the supply is running out faster and faster each day. Noi tries to produce the herbs to fix this problem, but his efforts are ineffective because none of the plants survive to bear any fruit. He tries to look for the medication in the area beyond the abandoned house but discovers that the demon hunter, who is out to get the Krejay, has burned it all to dust. Noi informs his girlfriend that they must leave this village and makes plans to do so with her tomorrow after sunset. When Sai realizes she must leave everyone behind, she visits her friend Jerd for one more time. As soon as she steps inside his room, she discovers the man huddling under a blanket in dread. Sai tries to go get her friend, but Jerd tells her that he knew she was a Krejay from the beginning because he had seen her consuming the livestock on the first day. He just joined the hunters to protect Sai before the hunt and to provide them with false information. Every time he sees the girl with Noi, he displays immense sorrow, yet he still works to keep her hidden from view. Jerd confesses that he is also going through a horrifying transition as a result of being bitten by the demon hunter, who is obviously a Krahang, the male counterpart of a Krejay. He pleaded with Sai not to leave him now that he was a terrible creature that no one wanted to be around. Noi attempts to get more information about the Krejay's mythology the following day when he pays the monk one last visit. The holy man explained to Noi that the first Krejay was the first Krahang's wife, but she had committed adultery and the Krahang tore her heart from her chest as a result. The Krahang is obligated to attempt to assassinate every Krejay on the world since the first incarnation. Sai gets ready to leave her house permanently before dusk, but her father stops her and takes her to the community theater to prove to everyone that his daughter is not a demon. When Noi finds the girl nowhere to be found at their agreed-upon meeting spot, he immediately recognizes that something is seriously wrong. Without any more medications, Sai starts to change in front of everyone as her head separates from her body, leading everyone to shout in terror. Jerd, meanwhile, loses all hope as he understands that Sai will never honor her pledge. The man yells angrily as he starts to change into a vampire creature that resembles the hunter. Jerd and Tad fly towards the public theater where the crowd is on the prowl for the Krejay, and Jerd pulls the woman's head out of the air. He glares angrily at Sai and makes an attempt to murder her, but Noi comes just in time to stop his friend. Jerd dashes towards the man who is actually in charge of this lunacy after taking one glance at the girl and rediscovering his humanity. The two then start fighting ferociously in the air. As they both descend toward the ground, Jerd successfully knocks the hunter to the ground. The two continue to fight, but Tad quickly gains the upper hand and pins the young man to the ground. Jerd is killed when the hunter strikes the victim in the chest and removes his heart. As Noi carries the woman's body and tries to flee, the monster next focuses on the Krejay. To save her boyfriend, Sai confronts the demon and drags it into the air. Suddenly, a gunshot is fired at the heart of the vampire, killing the demon in mid-air. The monk confesses that he was actually the spouse of the previous Krejay who was infected Sai, and it turns out that he had been following them to assist the lovers. He instructs Noi to go with the girl towards the water, where the boat is, in an effort to right his deeds, which have caused so much sorrow. As the villagers wait for them, the man takes the girl's body in his hands and runs toward the river to kill the monster. When Noi gets to the boat, she shoves the body into but realizes Sai isn't with her. After being attacked by the locals, the girl realizes that her body is completely damaged and loses all hope of living. They both sob as she gives the man one last kiss while realizing that they would never again be together. As they both cry, Sai breaks the ropes holding the boat together and sends her boyfriend out of this location. The girl is fatally wounded when a gunshot from a villager strikes her in the head at an unexpected moment. Noi rushes to his sweetheart and sobs in misery as he watches the only person in the world who matters to him being taken away forever. How do you people feel about this movie? If you liked the video, feel free to like it and subscribe. Also, please share your ideas in the comments area. I'll see you again soon.